Hello and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. According to DDP, champion of middleweight division, the fight that makes sense most, both for Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya, is to face one another in the rematch. We're going to talk about the possibility of this fight happening. Why is this a good idea for both fighters? Before you get started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all of this is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Seems that Dricus thinks that Izzy should face Strickland for the second time, taking into consideration that both fighters are in similar spots, even though obviously Izzy's in a worse spot than Sean Strickland. Strickland hasn't derailed in terms of career as much as Israel Adesanya. Israel is three, out of the last five fights, he's lost four, right? And there was a lengthy break in between those fights. I think it was after he knocked out Alex Pereira or between the Alex Pereira, I forget. But he took a break and really hasn't looked the same ever since. You have Sean Strickland, who did well last time. He lost UFC 312, his very last fight. But before that, he did okay against a Paulo Costa. He won that fight, obviously. Decision win. Before that, lost the title to Dricus. And now you have, the two guys. And you kind of want to say that they're in similar spots in their career. I think Izzy is big enough name for him to beat Strickland and one more guy after Strickland and see himself fight for a title again. I think Izzy is actually big enough name to do that. Any other fighter, that would not be the case. But Izzy is perhaps one of those fighters. But will this fight actually happen? I just kind of have doubts that this fight, could actually take place. It could make sense. Some argue that it wouldn't make sense just because Strickland is perhaps in somewhat better standing than, Israel Adesanya. So you can make the case for this fight. You can also make the case against the fight. In all honesty, some people may argue that Izzy's going to fight a lower-ranked opponent next, and that's probably going to be the case. For Strickland, maybe you'll see him against the Nusratdin Imavov. Who knows? Maybe against the Shara. Who knows? But in terms of the middleweight division, you can find fights for both fighters without them fighting each other. I think, generally speaking, we have to get away from these rematches because they get kind of redundant. And both guys, whether it be Strickland or Adesanya, are big enough names to headline cards on their own, facing uprising opponents. Me personally, I would not be so opposed to seeing, MVP versus Izzy, Shara versus Izzy. Strickland, you can make the case for Nusratdin versus Strickland. That would make a very good fight. So would I be opposed to seeing the rematch between the two? Not really, but it gets, it's a bit redundant, right? We've seen them fight for 5 rounds already. And not to say that, I'm opposed to seeing the two fight again. It's just that there are many other better fights to be had, without it being a rematch. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.